We've all heard of passport bros and how guys who go live in other countries live a dream life, whether it's in the Dominican Republic or Brazil. Today, I'm going to tell you that's not always the case, and there are many who are leaving those countries. The passport bros community has been in existence for a while. It even dates before the advent of YouTube and social media. It has always had a strong black community, and we all know countless guys who move to other countries in search of better partners, better value for their time, better systems, and a better standard of living in general. However, not all that glitters is gold. I know there are hundreds of black dudes who dream of going to Brazil, Colombia, or the Dominican Republic. But the reality once you get there hits you in the face and wakes you up to reality. Sure, you might have known someone who went there and is now living a life we all want to live. But have you ever thought about the process? There's so much to it. You have to get a visa for most countries, and then you have to make sure there's safe accommodation that can live up to your standard of living. Once you're there, you have to take care of the paperwork. You might have a language barrier, you might not get the food you're used to, and you might not even find decent work. Sure, you might get a nice woman who's interested in you and not interested in the color of your passport, but that's very rare. If you do find someone like that, congratulations. But you will still have to face the rest of the problems that everybody else faces, such as lack of security, more pollution, a corrupt police and justice system, and people trying to exploit you all the time. Women in underdeveloped countries don't often act as entitled like women in the West do, since they don't have the same level of financial security. When they do, they entirely give themselves over to their new leader, longing for his presence and encouragement in every manner. Due to financial constraints, women in these nations do not actively embrace womanism. Men have not given women in their culture equal rights and opportunities, and society has not given women the freedom to choose to be feminists. Man's most basic needs are to be respected and recognized. Today, women are not even remotely appreciative of men. They feel that just being female entitles them to a certain standard of respect. The last time I did something nice for a woman, and she thanked me, I can't recall. I've always advised men to choose their own paths. Either embrace your uniqueness or figure out how to fit in wherever it is necessary. I wonder if American women, primarily white middle-class women, have evolved towards interracial experimentation through time in a similar way to American men. In comparison to South America or Asia, I hear more stories of Western women traveling to Black Africa and the Caribbean in search of a physical connection. Western black men are looking for submissive and principled women in the East. Is this due to the fact that more and more American women are seeking out stereotypical bad boys to fill the gaps left by American men? Is white women's interest in interracial adult entertainment real or just a made-up myth? Also, does explicit information mislead men or women in its intended direction? I contend that Western men favor women who are subservient. If my estimation is accurate, however, American women are now drawn to more dominating alpha guys. As women never want to accept or admit their truth on their own, it's always amusing to expose them to it. Now, men are traveling to the East in pursuit of attractive women. Moreover, bear in mind that Thailand has very few obese women. Even ladyboys are prettier than Western women. You should now have all the information you require. Women will find such men attractive because even a partially feminized male from the West will likely appear more manly than many Asian men there. It's easy to understand why guys visit these locations when you take into account their financial situation and resources. Eastern women are looking to date Western men. I recently read about Thai women who believe that the more Western guys they date, the greater the likelihood that they will become romantically linked with them and eventually emigrate to the United States, the United Kingdom, or Canada with them. Strangely enough, when such women travel to a Western nation, they only become aware of the different game that is being played there. When they notice that Western women are not subservient, they often feel pressure from their peers to emulate them, which is why their white Western boyfriends decide to break up with them. The foreign ladies who were left behind by their former lovers who first brought them to their country because they were subservient and more receptive to their leadership, are acting like. In addition to living in better economic situations, Western men and women are considered more attractive around the world due to the hue and color of their skin, which is more attractive in much of the world. Men and women desire Western men and women because white complexion is preferred over dark or black skin everywhere from Africa to Southeast Asia and the Middle East. But is this racial? Theoretically, yes, yet you can't hold either side responsible for this, since popular culture and media narratives have always portrayed white people as heroes and people from other cultures, nations, and origins as villains. There's no doubt that when men and women from around the world find Western partners and move to Western countries benefit economically. After making the move, they're immediately surrounded by more opportunities, better quality food, a better environment, and usually lesser crime levels. They also start to earn more than they would back in their home countries. However, there's always a downside to this as well. The men and women from Western countries who choose to find foreign partners and bring them back home are usually shunned by their social circles. They risk losing their chances of having partners of their own backgrounds and end up with people who have a different way of thinking. Since Western men have been influenced by the womanist movement and have thus become more feminized, Western women now desire more dominant males. Women want to be in charge and have control over their men's lives, but they also want their guys to appear more manly. Personal decisions also have a role. When dominant women travel abroad in search of more submissive men, they often return with only more manly males in hand. In that situation, they seldom ever get to interact with any men, because males value personal respect and the need for power more than financial achievement. In this aspect, the gender marketplace varies as well. An average-looking Western lady visiting a place like Japan, for instance, won't attract the attention of the males there, because the Japanese lady who is more attractive than average will still appeal to men more. Nonetheless, a Western man of average appearance visiting Japan will discover that the most attractive Japanese lady is attracted to him. The notion of gender and authority in both nations is the cause of this. For Japanese women, the American male represents a new way of life and a prosperous new world where they can cheerfully submit. An American lady who is domineering is not alluring enough for the Japanese man. The man may relish physical contact, but he won't submit to. There are a lot of other elements at work here. In certain societies, gender roles are influenced by characteristics including wealth, age, skin tone, and physical attractiveness. In her mid-30s, a successful Western woman may be worth more to her own nation than to another. In contrast to her home country, where she is only ordinary, an average-looking woman in her early 20s will be worth much more in a place like Africa or the Middle East. That's the same as it is with a black man living in America and then checking out Brazil, where he might not be as valuable to the locals. So, to see if passport bras really is what it was in the past, you have to realize that there's a good side and there's a bad side to every story. Some dudes make the best life in America, while others prefer living in other countries where they find good partners and jobs that are worth their time. And I guess this is why passport bros are leaving places like the Dominican Republic or Brazil or Colombia, because the grass is not greener on the other side, or maybe they hyped up living there so much that their expectations weren't met. Either way, for any black guy, living in another country due to whatever reason is his personal choice, but everyone should know that it's not the dream that used to be a couple of decades back. From taxes to corruption, from women trying to exploit you to the government trying to use you, along with pollution and a lower standard of living, there are quite a few downsides to it as well. So be sure to keep those in mind, because there are many who are leaving those countries for the reasons I just talked about. Thanks for watching Man Reacts. Hit the like button and subscribe for the latest videos.